Hey y'all, welcome back. Hey y'all. Hey y'all. Hey all. I'm not from the South, so I'm trying to figure out if I should say hey y'all or hey all. If I say hey all fast enough, it might sound Southern, but my wife and in-laws are from the South, so maybe I've earned that right to say hey y'all. Nonetheless, hey y'all, welcome back to Serenity Cycle Works. I am your host, Hawkstachio, and this is Project Oilhead Part 4. Right now, I am just kind of capping off some vacuum lines. That was from leftover remnants from when the charcoal filter was on. Anyway, most of the teardown was done in episode 3, and this episode was just kind of a little bit more of tidying things up. My intent was to uh, label all the wiring for everything. Then, very short into that, I realized that it sucked and I didn't want to do it. Um, and I got pictures of everything as I was going, so I might be able to use that. And then I kind of got carried away doing other things. I was trying to get that vacuum line out of the way that I capped off, and that goes underneath the battery tray there. That was the tray that held the battery and the ABS unit, and they built into the bottom of that tray. There's kind of a junction where the throttle cables go, and the well, I really wouldn't call it a choke because it's fuel injected, but I guess the choke cable, I guess, I don't know. They all run through there and they're clipped in the bottom, so I don't know. It was something trying to get those apart. Oh, time to stop and take a doggy pet break. I think that's Earl's probably favorite thing about being in the garage is those doggy pet breaks. Anyway, um, pulled the computer off, pulled the tray off. Eventually, I had to take apart one of the handlebars to get that choke cable off there. And then mostly I just kind of thought about the bike and looked at the bike and stared at the bike and decided where I wanted to start cutting the frame. And even though I'm at a point of no return and the only way out is forward, it's still kind of jalapeno. On a side note, I was rolling around the garage on my little wheelie stool, and I found that jalapeno pepper sitting underneath the Vespa. One of the guys at work, Mikey, gave me a few of those, and I guess when I was pulling the bag from underneath the seat, I must have dropped one. So thanks for the jalapeno, Mikey. Anyway, um, what I was saying, there's only one way forward, but it's still kind of nerve wracking thinking I'm going to be cutting the frame of my motorcycle up. But that's because this is my first custom moto build. I've bought bikes before in the past which were basket cases and you need to just rebuild the engine, get them running, but nothing this intense. So it's exciting, but it's still kind of like, what am I doing? However, as you can see how far I've gotten, I'm already got past that point of what am I doing. I'm putting the tank on so I can just kind of get a visual of the bike, but I'm not really digging that tank necessarily, and I want to replace it with a different tank. I really want to get the R9T tank, but man, oh man, oh man, those are expensive. Probably $1,500 to $2,000 easy for one of those tanks. So I was thinking maybe a R1150R tank, like kind of cool, or maybe even an R1100 tank. We'll see. See what the internet offer. This is my new speedometer, tachometer, odometer gauge cluster deal. Came in the mail. Got it from the internet. So I'm gonna remove this big old, I don't know, monstrosity, and put that sleek little one on top of there eventually. Um, I don't know. Anyway, back to the tanks. I don't really know what I'll get. I might even get one from like the R100 BMW and maybe Frankenstein it with this tank, but probably not. Since this is my first build, I don't want to go too crazy. Um, and also, as many of you know, we have a little one on the way. There's only 4 months left till the little one's born, so I want to get this done before then. So we'll see. And I might start selling the stuff I pulled off. Actually, I need to. But start selling that stuff on the internet. Take care. Not cut any wires. Trying to unplug and be as careful as I can. Like right there, I'm taking the tachometer wire off where it plugs in as opposed to just cutting the wires. And hopefully I can sell some of that stuff to fund the build, or maybe even to get the tank I want or the exhaust I want. I don't know. I think starting to think about the coloring I want to paint the bike too, and I kind of wanted to use tractor paint because this bike's nickname since I've gotten it has been the Tractor, because she just chugs along like one of those old single-cylinder diesels from back in the day. I don't know. Right here what I'm doing is I'm taking that oil cooler off and I'm just going to zip tie it underneath the telelever arm in the front there, because I think that's where I'm going to mount it, or possibly maybe I might get different oil coolers. The R1150R had, I believe, 2 oil coolers, one on either side, and I might get those. Oh, another pet brake. I think when I sit there to think and look at the bike, they think I'm there to pet them, so that's okay, I don't mind. Anyway, I did have to sit and look at the bike for a while and think what I want to do, where I want to cut, how I want to keep the seat. I think I'm going to keep the stock seat. Pretty sure I am. I wouldn't mind getting the adventure seat, which was kind of longer, but I didn't like the price. So I think I'm just going to keep that. Right now I'm just marking the things I'm going to cut off, where I'm going to cut. I want to build, I don't know, almost like a luggage rack. How you can buy those aftermarket luggage racks and bolt them onto a lot of bikes in the back. That's what I want to build, or convert, I should say, this subframe into something that will hold the seat and also dual purpose as a built-in luggage rack, so to speak. We'll see how it goes. I need to get some pipe, maybe a pipe bender to start doing that. I think it will look pretty cool. But it's kind of hard to visualize some of the stuff, only because that fuel tank that's on there is just kind of distracting my eye from the lines I want to be seeing. So it's hard to look past that and use your imagination when it's staring you right in the face. Right now I'm just kind of looking up what those aftermarket luggage racks look like, so I have an idea of kind of what I want to do. I didn't show it in this video, but I took some of the vacuum hose I cut off and some zip ties and a part from the Subaru, and I kind of mocked up what I thought it could look like. It's okay, but it's a work in progress. I'm definitely not an artist, but I'm kind of feeling it as I go. For me, it's easier to visualize when I have more information, like when the seat's on and when the tank's on. It gives me a better idea of what it might look like. Trying to figure out the right angles. Here I am moving that oil cooler, as promised. I think though I'll probably just make a bracket and mount that one to the bottom of that telelever suspension there. It might just be the best bet. I would have to make some custom hoses, and that probably wouldn't be the end all. Might actually be kind of fun. Make a good video. Wouldn't be fun if it didn't make a mess. I wasn't able to get that other hose back on the oil cooler due to the location, so I just figured I'd fold it over on itself, zip tie it shut until I could come up with a better solution. But that makes a good temporary solution. Nothing's going to crawl down in there, and no dirt's going to get in there. Anyway, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next episode where it should start cutting and welding.